This is what we're going to be working with today. Welcome back to the studio. This is Susan. Let me pull out some more of my toys. I'm going to run that intro and we'll get back and I'll explain what I'm going to be doing. Here we go. All right, today I'm going to be working with, I think I'm going to be using this. This is the embossing folder from Stampin' Up called Exposed Brick. Let's see if I can put that up for you so you can see what it looks like. This is one from Close to the Heart. I may or may not use this. This one is called Are We There Yet? And it's the Scrapbooking collection. This is the Adventurous Sky stamp and die set. And then from that bundle, I think it's called Take to the Skies, Adventurous Sky, something like that. I'll link everything down below so you can see it. But you can tell I'm kind of down to some of the scraps. So I may or may not use those. And let me show you the fronts and backs of some of these papers. So we have a gray there. Kind of a geometric print. I love this one. This is probably my favorite pattern paper of the collection. I've already used one sheet on another page. There's more of that. Here's more of a map style, and that's it. We always have to remember with Stampin' Up instead of Close to My Heart, you need to save this background piece of paper. It's kind of a cardstocky, thicker piece, and that gives you a list of all the colors that are in this collection. So hang on to that. And let's pull in some of our mats to work on. And this will be a double page setup. All right, I'm back. I've kind of brought in a few things to share with you. These are pictures that we took at Museum of Flight here in the Seattle area, my husband and I have cut this a white mat out, and then I've also cut sapphire paper, or it could be Night of Navy in Stampin' Up. And just a couple pictures I want to document the day that we had there. And so I thought this paper was absolutely perfect. I've gone ahead and I've taped down this side already, and from what I can see, there is no direction to this paper, this airplane paper. And I wanted to show you the flip sides of those in case you want to find them in your collection of papers. So on my mats here, I've gone ahead and, as you know, there's a little bit of tape on each of the corners just to kind of hold this down. And I come in and just put some of my double stick tape down as close to the center as I can get it. I've come in with a 1-inch border and gutted each of these papers so I can have more to play with. So we're kind of watching our mats up here on the marks, making sure I've kind of got things as best I can even. Let's scoot this over just a hair more. And while I'm thinking of it, you probably guys won't notice, but please excuse my hands. I've been out in the garden quite a bit, and they've taken a beating lately. But I love to be out in the garden. So, two of the things I love, and sometimes the hands don't match up. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some more of the items now. I've cut this paper. Again, it's the same one as here. And I'm thinking I want to put that over in there somewhere. I'm not quite sure. Let's see what I can do here. I would have had a chance to lay some of this out the way I'm thinking that I want it to be. This is a brochure from when we were at the museum. So I've just taken the front cover of that and put it down on some sapphire or Night of Navy paper. I've come in with my die cuts, and there were two different prints of the green that I really liked. So I brought that in here, and I think I want to put that up in there, and I may put some other little things up in there. Same thing down here. I may put a few other things. when you're putting these together, you get this die cut and this die cut. There's also a stamp in the set if you would just like to stamp this and then put something over it, or just fussy cut out the plain with the stamp. And then there are some propellers that I'll put on these. So there's 3 die cuts that go with this. So that's how I'm gonna glue those together. And then over in here, there are, on the back of one of the papers, there are some cut aparts. So this is one of them, and I thought it picked up really good on the green here and bringing the green over here. Again, I've took one of the squares or the papers and I've cut it down, and I've got some pictures over here that I've just matted in the white only, and then brought in the sapphire here to make a little flag. And I'm gonna put a title up here of some kind. I've got to figure that out. So what I'll do is I'm gonna tape down a lot of this, then I'll come back with you and we'll put the other stuff, items, the fluff. We'll put that on the page, so I'll be right back. All right, I have glued down everything with the exception of this and the planes. I think I'm gonna put this up on some 3D foam strips. And on the planes, I just wanted to explain something to you. You can see how quite a few things hang off of the, when you do the second die cut. So when you are gluing this down, be mindful of what pieces are sticking to the plane and what isn't, so you don't end up getting glue where you don't want it. And pardon me, you'll see that I have come along and cut out the propellers. There's a die cut for those in some silver foil, and it's just a little bit of bling on the page. And then what I'm going to do, I believe, is these are the industrial trinkets that are from Stampin' Up. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're in the bundle when you purchase it. But I'm going to bring those into the center of the propeller. I think it looks pretty industrial. So I will do that in just a little while. And also in the die cuts, there are some clouds. So what I've done is I've run these through my embossing folder, this one, and I've made some clouds. Hopefully you can see the texture on those. And I'm gonna pop some of these behind the planes, and I think I'm gonna add some color to them. So let me just stick this aside for just a moment. I'm gonna bring out my craft mat. I think I wanna use the periwinkle ink for my clouds. I'm just going to put a little bit of color on them, but I didn't want them in the sapphire because I think it would be just too matchy-matchy. So let's see what we can come up with here. And I'm just gonna dab some of this off. In fact, I have a piece of scratch paper. I wanna see, hopefully you can see it. It's pretty light, so I feel safe coming in with it. Let's do these bigger pieces first. And I'm thinking I just want to kind of do the edges. We'll see how it looks. Remember to go light in the beginning. So I always try and come off of the paperwork and then bring it into the sides and slightly into the center. And I am always wanting, in my opinion, I want the edges to be a little bit darker, at least in this instant. So I think that looks good. So let me go ahead and get the rest of these done. So I've got my clouds done, and what I thought I would do is I'm going to bring in my, it's close to my heart, a periwinkle color, so it's the same that I've done here on the clouds, but I'm just gonna splatter some on there. You could also use just the clear, it's called Winkastella, and you can get that from Stampin' Up. When Close to My Heart was closing, I bought a bunch of the glitter pens. So let me see if I can get my scissors here, and I just kind of make a pool here on my craft mat, and then I'm just gonna splatter this on. If you're concerned about getting, there might be sprinkles somewhere on your desk. If you're concerned about that, You can always do this inside of a cardboard box. All right, don't laugh at me. Today is a day that's following up the over the weekend, the intended assassination of former President Trump. So today I'm looking for the silver lining. I'm looking for the positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm coming in with more glitter to see the silver lining. Okay, so go with it, okay? So I'm bringing in some stickles, and it's called Moon Dust is the name of this color. And I have a butter knife that I often use in my craft room. So I'm just going to bring in just a little. And I'm not going to bring this into the whole thing, just a little bit here and there on the clouds. And this could take about 30 minutes to dry. So don't be putting this right on your scrapbook right away, or get out your heat gun and use your heat gun on this. Let's see, I think we should bring some of this over more to the left-hand side to some of these. My goodness, that one got a lot of silver lining. Okay, and one last little baby one. That adds more sparkle. I think that'll catch your eye on the page. And when I look at this page, I'll always think of finding the silver lining. I've decided to do some die cutting and some stamping here. And I wanted to show you, these are the envelopes. Let me see if I can bring you out a little. I'll link these down below. They're from my Amazon shop. And this is how I keep my cardstock, and I keep all of the plain cardstock. So this is White Daisy from Close to My Heart, or it's basic white with Stampin' Up, same thing. And I keep all of my small pieces in the front. And very rarely do I get rid of anything. And then my full sheets, helps if I'm on screen, my full sheets are behind. So this is how I keep them in my Calyx unit. I keep them this way, so the opening is on the right, so I can slip things out in and out, pardon me. You know, so it's easy and it's on its side, but I always keep it shut because I just really don't want any dust in there, or, you know, I just don't want anything getting in there. And then I put the name of the paper here, and I personally keep my paper in alpha order. And I have integrated now all my Stampin' Up plain cardstock within my alphabetized system. That's a tongue tire. So anyways, so this is a perfect opportunity to pull out some scraps. So I'm going to pull out this one, and I'm going to cut it to, looks like about 7 inches would be okay. And just to show you my stamp positioner here. So this is a from Petunia, my Sweet Petunia, and this is my stamping apparatus. So if you want to stamp something more than once, it keeps it nice and tidy, and you can just re-stamp again. So let's go through and look at some of these stamps. And whenever I'm using these stamp sets, if I use extras, I will put them down in here and keep in case I want to use on another page. I don't get rid of them. So I think I want to use this one that says This Place. And I think I want to use the passport. Thought that would be kind of fun. And let's try the camera. So let's try those 3. And remember, you want to keep a little bit of distance with your stamps in between. I'm doing a little excessively here, but let me make them a little closer, because you've got to get your die cuts in there to cut them out. So let me pull some ink. I've pulled out some sapphire ink, and let's go ahead and close this to pick up these stamps. Make sure you're tight in one of your corners. I love having a Misty, or this is called the Misty stamping platform Again, the link will be down below, but I think every stamper needs to have one of these in their craft room. It's one of those musts. Keep in mind too, whenever you're using your stamps and the ink is going to dry always lighter than how it goes on. I'm happy with that. So I think the only thing I want to do is I want to stamp one more passport. All right, let's put that up there. Let's pick that up again. I'm gonna have to put some new tape on here. Let's put this down in here. Even though it's a sticky pad and it should stick, I just like to have the insurance of having that there. So let's get this inked up. All right, let's get these lined up for die cutting. So we'll put this one down here. And it's kind of a wacky triangle. So just pay attention to that if you're using this stamp set. This is the tape that I use for the most of the time for putting down my die cuts. And I reuse it several times before I get rid of it. It's helped save on the crafting budget. Let's see, passport. And I'll run these through my die cut machine. All right, I've placed some of the things down where I want them. I also found this sheet of stickers. Let me find the name of the set. Let's Go Anywhere. And I have 2 sheets of this because I absolutely love this collection. It's from close to my heart, but if you have it, would be a great time to pull it out to go with this paper. All right, I'm gonna put some of the fun stuff down now, and I'm gonna put you on fast forward while I do all of these fun things. I'm gonna leave this alone. I feel like I might want something up there, so on the still shots after the video, you might see something there. I noticed that this plane was a little going downward, but it's too late to change it, so it is what it is. And I've used all of the, well, yeah, I did use all of the stamp die cuts that I had made, and I've used the clouds that we made together. And just FYI, it's probably been a half hour and they're still wet, so just be careful when you're using those. So this covers my day with my husband and family at the Museum of Flight, which is in Seattle. So if you're here cruising to Alaska anytime, you probably want to stop by. It's right near the port. So all of the products will be listed below. You'll find them there. I have an Amazon storefront, which is down there. You have a link to Stampin' Up. Until next time, you have a good day. Stick around for the still shots, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.